What happens when someone gets a tummy tuck, believes her family is complete, and then ends up pregnant years later? That is the question driving attention around Tarina Richie Green's story right now. Because her answer was not about regret. It was about how different the pregnancy felt, how unusual her body looked along the way, and why she still says the surgery was worth it. On March 21, 2026, Green publicly detailed what happened after she became pregnant with her fourth child, nearly a decade after a mommy makeover that included a tummy tuck and breast augmentation. Before we go further, subscribe, like, and share to support Starline Daily for more trending updates and documentary-style stories. According to Green's public account, she had the procedures a little over a year after the birth of her third daughter, at a point when she and her husband believed they were finished having children. She said she wanted to feel more confident again after years of pregnancy-related body changes, and described loose skin that made her feel older than she was. For years after that, she saw the decision as part of a finished chapter. Then last year, she became pregnant again, and by February 11th she had publicly announced the arrival of her baby boy. What made this story take off was not simply that she got pregnant after cosmetic surgery. It was how she described the experience once her body had to stretch again. Green said the pregnancy felt different because her abdomen had been surgically tightened. She publicly described ongoing tightness, discomfort as her stomach expanded, added sensitivity and numbness near incision areas, and a bump that seemed smaller and sat lower than in her earlier pregnancies. She also said she felt fetal movement unusually early, around 13 weeks, and that after about 8 hours of labor, her stomach looked flat again within hours of giving birth. That personal timeline matters because abdominoplasty is more than a cosmetic buzzword. Medically, the procedure removes excess skin and fat from the abdomen and tightens connective tissue over the abdominal muscles. In a standard tummy tuck, the skin around the belly button is also repositioned. So when a later pregnancy begins to stretch that same area again, it is not surprising that the experience can feel different from prior pregnancies, especially around tightness, pulling, scar sensitivity, and the overall look of the bump. But there is an important line between one person's story and general medical guidance. Professional plastic surgery guidance says women who may be considering future pregnancies are generally advised to postpone a tummy tuck, not because pregnancy is impossible afterward, but because major weight and body changes can reduce the long-term cosmetic result. In other words, the surgery does not lock the body in place forever. Pregnancy can still happen, and it can still reshape the outcome. There is also some emerging research that helps explain why this topic draws so much interest. A 2024 PubMed-indexed retrospective study found that prior abdominoplasty was associated with higher rates of preterm delivery and cesarean delivery, while most other measured perinatal outcomes were not increased. The authors concluded that a future desire for pregnancy may not need to be treated as a reason to automatically rule out abdominoplasty, but they also pointed to outcome differences that make timing an important part of the decision. That means Green's experience is personal and real, but it should not be treated as a universal template for everyone. Green's own conclusion is what gives the story its strongest final turn. Despite the discomfort and the unexpected physical changes, she said she does not regret the tummy tuck at all. She described it as worth the money and said she might even consider future cosmetic work depending on how her body settles in the months ahead. That makes this less a regret story and more a story about timing, changing life plans, and the reality that bodies do not always follow the version of the future people thought they had locked in years earlier. And that is really why this story has held people's attention. It is not just about one surgery or one pregnancy. It is about the gap between expectation and reality. She thought she was done having children, made a permanent feeling aesthetic decision, and then life changed. The clearest verified update right now is that Green has publicly shared her fourth pregnancy experience after a prior tummy tuck. She has welcomed her son, and she says she has no regrets. The broader question her story leaves behind is the one many viewers will now be asking themselves. If future pregnancy is even a possibility, how much should timing shape a cosmetic decision that may later be tested by real life? Thanks for watching, and thank you for supporting Starline Daily.
Oh my goodness! People Magazine featured your girl. featured me. That's tea, babes. So one of my homegirls just hit me up and told me that she saw a spread of me in People magazine. And this was something that I had to hold on to for so long and be quiet about because I wanted to share with y'all myself, but I didn't even notice it had got put out. I haven't checked my emails. I'm sure I'm sure that they emailed me about the spread, but I have not checked my emails in like 3 weeks, which is horrible. Don't do that. But that's just to go to say, y'all, post your content. Post your freaking content. People magazine featured your girl. People magazine. Yeah. And yeah, a lot of girls relate to the girlies that got tummy tucks and pregnancies. Like, I didn't know so many people was interested in that. Yeah. Like, the video that went viral on Instagram that got me so many hate comments got me a spread in People. So don't care about what people have to say about y'all. Post that content. Okay, be relatable, be yourself,